Hi everyone, today I want to talk about the Dior Poison perfume range. I have 8 perfumes here today. Some of them are discontinued. I will of course mention it whenever I talk about the discontinued perfume. I'm missing some special editions, limited editions, but generally the Dior Poison perfume range, I have it all here. It's 8 bottles and we're starting off with the very first one, the original bad boy from 1985. We have the original Dior Poison. I don't have the box for it. I believe the box is green colored, and the scent that I have over here is from 2018, so I don't have the very original scent from the 80s, but I would like to think that this smells similar. So this scent came out 40 years ago. This was the competitor for YSL's Opium. Before they released Poison, they trademarked the name several years before they released the scent. They worked on more than 800 samples of the scent before they came to the final formulation that they were happy with. And this was also the first perfume from the Dior company that they didn't make up a word for it. So they had Diorella or Diorissimo and things like that, but this was just, you know, a completely new name, so this is just Poison. So they definitely put a lot of effort into releasing this perfume correctly, with a lot of thought behind it. The marketing campaign as well, they sort of released it starting with specific cities and specific retailers, so they didn't just throw it out there all at once everywhere and everyone can just go rush and buy it. Instead, they sort of drip-fed the market, and it was a very good approach because the perfume really proved itself to be very popular back in those days. And the tagline for this scent is "Poison is my potion." The perfumer behind the scent is Edouard Flechier, I hope I pronounced it correctly, and I think he created a masterpiece, really. If we look at the notes of this scent, we have orange honey, coriander, plum, pimento, rosewood, wild berries, aniseed. In the middle we have tuberose, carnation, opopnax, frankincense, jasmine, neroli, cinnamon, and rose. And in the base there's heliotrope, vanilla, amber, cedar, musk, and sandalwood, and vetiver. So in terms of the notes there's a lot going on, but if I look at how they all come together, the scent itself, it comes off as rich, opulent, and sophisticated. It is a mature scent. It doesn't smell vintage, but there is sort of a feeling of an era gone past, I feel. But it's still totally wearable this day and age. The scent generally is a sweet, maybe slightly oriental floral perfume. But the sweetness, even though there's like vanilla and amber in the base, the sweetness is kind of subtle. It's really not in your face. It's as much sweetness as you can get from dark fruits. It's sort of rich and dark sweetness. And to be honest, the whole mood of this perfume is sort of dark and deep. It comes off to me as a gothic scent. To me, this is definitely an elegant and graceful perfume, and this will definitely leave an impression. Whether it's a good one or a bad one, it depends on the person, and this is not a crowd pleaser scent, so it will have people divided. I think the notes are truly very well blended in this scent. Nothing really sort of jumps out at me. I think they all work in a harmony. It's spicy, it's warm, it's maybe even a bit smoky, maybe a bit woody. And as I said, they tried 800 versions of this perfume until they got the final one, so this has been tested thousands of times. And it shows. I truly do think that this is a masterpiece. And even though this is an eau de toilette, this has very good projection and sillage. This is really above average performance of what you get from designer scents these days. So I'm very pleased with it. I don't have to overspray as I usually do with everything. In terms of season and occasion, I think probably this is not for spring and summer, so this will be your cold weather perfume. It definitely can be a special occasion perfume, I can see that, but I will wear everything on day-to-day basis, so I have worn this to the office as well. I think the main thing is, as long as you're put together, you're not in a tracksuit, you look nicely, your hair is clean, you know, this is for a sophisticated person who knows what she wants and is on her way to get it. That's the image that comes to my mind. The strong woman in your life type of scent. Or option B is anyone with an alternative style, because as I said, I see this as a gothic scent as well. So if you're into goth, punk, emo aesthetic, I think this would be great for you as well. Yeah, definitely. I love this scent. This is definitely staying in my collection as well. I think this is something I would repurchase too, so Dior Poison, the OG from 1985, I love it. This is not discontinued, you can still buy this, and 30 milliliter bottles should set you back for about 50 to 60 pounds, or I think it's 70 to $80. Buckle up because we're going to 1994, and this is when Tendre Poison comes out. So 9 years passed from the original release for a flanker to be released, so I can applaud that, because these days they release 3 flankers per year for every range, which can be very overwhelming. The perfumer is the same as for the original, but this time they're kind of aiming towards a younger crowd. So in the marketing campaign they have sort of a couple, 2 younger people giving pecks on the nose for each other. It's kind of, it's cutesy, it's romantic. There's a love song on in the background, so it's lovely. A lot of people do feel very nostalgic about this scent. They're quite upset that it's been discontinued. A lot of people, even trying it nowadays, they still like it as well, so it has its appeal and it has stood the test of time. For me, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan, so I don't think that I will be keeping this bottle. But before we go into reviewing it, let's look at the notes. So in the top notes we have galbanum, tangerine, bergamot, rosewood, asafoetida. In the middle we have tuberose, freesia, honey, neroli, rose and orange. And in the base there's musk, sandalwood, heliotrope and vanilla. So there's a lot going on in terms of the notes, again, as you do typically with your vintage perfumes. And with the bottle being green, it does open quite green. It's fresh, it's bright, it's a floral perfume, it's quite light. It makes you think of springtime, but at the same time it also has its heavy presence and it demands your attention. So I would say there's a good balance there, and just the same as the original, it is a bit more mature. Now in this one, with the vintage scent, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of it, so it gives me a bit of that aldehydic, floral, soapy, kind of 90s scent. But for me, this is a bit out of my comfort zone, I'll be honest. So yeah, I will be selling this, so somebody who wants this in their collection and can truly appreciate it can have this, because there's not that many left. So I don't want to hold on to it if I'm not going to use it. Now this is an EDT as well, but again it performs better than a lot of the new releases these days, so it's a good performer. Not as strong as Poison, I would say, because this is a bit more lighter, but still a very good performer. In terms of the person wearing it and the occasion, this is a spring-summer definitely, and this is definitely a lady. This is for the ladies 25, 35 plus. That would be a match made in heaven. So yeah, that's Tendre Poison. Then we move a few more years down the line. This is 1998 now, and we've arrived at the release of Hypnotic Poison EDT. I have the box for this one. This is what the boxes look like for all of the scents. It's just different colors, obviously, and names. But Hypnotic Poison EDT is probably legendary status at this point. I would say that that is the most popular one of the range. And this is what the bottle looks like. You've probably seen this plenty of times. My bottle is almost halfway through, and my batch is from 2021, so it's not an original formulation, but I haven't heard people complain too much about that the formulation has been changed, so I would assume it's very similar to what it used to smell like. They did change the perfumer who worked on this scent, so this is Annick Menardo's job. And for the marketing, they did a campaign where there's a model going in an elevator. She's going downstairs, she has short dark hair, dark lipstick, she's looking edgy, and then by the time she reaches ground floor, she's kind of ready to go to a party. It's an okayish commercial, it's fine. The scent itself, as I said, it's the most popular one on the line. It stands in all the charts, sort of people that own this scent, people that have this scent on their wish list. It sort of stands next to all the classics like Dior, J'adore, some Chanel scents, Alien, etc. It's one of the most popular ones. The scent itself is gorgeous, so I absolutely understand that. In the notes of the scent we have bitter almond, apricot, coconut, pimento and plum. In the middle we have jasmine, sambac, tuberose, lily of the valley, rose and rosewood. And in the base there's vanilla and sandalwood. To me this scent truly is hypnotic. I think they nailed it with the name. It is so sweet and strong, it's just solid. It's immediately in your face and it's not backing down. And as an avid oversprayer, I will not overspray with this scent. I will take my 4 to 5 sprays and I'll be fine. Whereas with other perfumes I will probably go twice as many. but this definitely doesn't need that. As an EDT, this is the strongest EDT I have ever smelled. It is just so sweet and thick that it feels like it should be diluted. This is like a compressed version of the scent. The scent is so nice. It feels like the biggest, fluffiest hug. It's like a soft weighted blanket. It's right on top of you there, and you're just warm and toasty under it, but you're also wearing lingerie and solid gold jewelry. It's like a fancy cozy. So with the almond and vanilla, it's sweet, but it's a ladylike sweet. This isn't really a girlish or happy scent, which I typically tend to associate with vanilla scent, but this is very ladylike. At the same time, I would say this is the first one, the third one, that isn't pulling practically mature or vintage almost. This is very modern. With the apricot, rose, and plum, it kind of pulls a bit more to the darker side as well. A lot of people put this scent into their gothic or vampire themed scents, and I can totally see it from the bottle to the name to the scent itself. It's truly a gorgeous pick for gourmand lovers. So if you love your sweet scents, this is a must try. In terms of season and occasion, this is absolutely a safety hazard if you spray this in summertime, so please keep this for winter only. That's when I sprayed. And with the age range, I think with this being so sweet, it can probably be worn at any age. And the price range is pretty much the same as for the first one, so 30ml 1 ounce bottle will set you back 50 to 60 pounds. That is Hypnotic Poison for you, absolutely gorgeous. Next, few years down the line, we move on to Pure Poison. This was released in 2004, and my batch code shows me that my perfume is from 2021, which is when I bought it. This is what the bottle looks like. Mine is pretty much halfway. This time they had 3 perfumers listed as having worked on this scent, one of them being Dominique Ropion, who is a legendary perfumer. And again, I think they created another masterpiece in the Poison line. In the marketing campaign for this scent, there's a girl in a little black dress. She's in like a fancy apartment, I think, and she's running away from a puma, and then she reaches the bottle, takes the perfume, and then the puma runs from her. The general opinion on this scent is very, very positive. People really do love this scent, and so do I. This is probably my favorite of the line. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. This is in my top 10 perfumes for life as well. The notes for Pure Poison are jasmine, mandarin orange, bergamot orange. In the middle we have neroli and gardenia, and in the base there's sandalwood, white amber, and cedar. And someone made an excellent comment about this scent too. They commented they were trying to figure out whether it's innocent or sexy, and they said that the scent is definitely pure, but there's still some poison in it, so which was a beautiful way to put it. I'm jealous I didn't come up with that, but the scent is really, honestly, so beautiful, I want to cry. It opens up with a very clean, almost soapy jasmine, and jasmine is one of my absolute favorite notes in perfumes. There's a tiny bit of citrus in the opening as well, but really just for a little while. And in general, this smells like something that is white, something that is clean, it's fresh, but it doesn't smell like laundry detergent or something like that. It's giving the idea of something pure and white and clean. So it has that pureness and innocence quality. But again, as a perfume from the Poison range, it has its heaviness, it packs a punch. Even as a perfume that passes for wearing in summertime as well, it's still strong enough. It's still gonna leave a big impression. You're gonna be able to smell it, even though it's the lightest one of the range. You definitely can wear this in summer too, so I think this would be a great all year round perfume, because even though it's a floral, white floral scent, in wintertime it's just beautiful in winter as well. I have worn this all year round and it's gorgeous in any weather. It has woods and amber in the base, and I feel like I could sense some musk as well. So it has a solid foundation, it's not just airy florals. So again, this is another Poison perfume that will leave an impression on people, I feel like, and the impression is going to be positive. I cannot see how someone can hate this scent. This makes the impression that your life is all put together, you know exactly what you're doing, you know what a government bond is, but at the same time you also know how to keep the flowers more fresh at home and have them last longer. This is a scent for a lady. It's classy, but it's sexy at the same time. This is the Charlotte from Sex and the City. This is Lily from Gossip Girl. This is Catherine from the Royal Family. This is a 10 out of 10. It also lasts well, it projects well. So yeah, I love this very, very much. This is not discontinued, you can still buy it. If they discontinue it ever, I will be devastated. And that is Pure Poison. Then we move on to 2007, and this is when Midnight Poison comes out. Midnight Poison is sadly discontinued. A lot of people are pissed off about it, so am I. Because it is a beautiful scent, it's a beautiful name, it's a beautiful bottle, everything is just so nice about it, but they took it away from us, okay? So it's a bit sad. This is what the bottle looks like. Now so my bottle is from 2007, checking the batch code. If you compare it to the modern bottles, you'll see, and this is the same size, this is 1 ounce, you'll see that the bottle is a bit smaller. Now, starting from Midnight Poison, the perfumer for all the remaining perfumes is François Demaquis, or Demaquis, I hope I pronounced that correctly, but he's made the rest of them. So I suppose they're very happy with him. I would say it's a bit of a hit and miss with his work, but Midnight Poison, it is beautiful. Now for the notes for this perfume, in the top we have bergamot and mandarin orange, in the middle there's rose, and in the base there's patchouli, amber and vanilla. It's a patchouli bomb. If you don't like patchouli, you're not going to like this, but to be honest, since this has been discontinued, it's difficult to find it anyway. And a piece of advice, if you are looking for this, do not fall for the 100 milliliter still sealed bottles on eBay, because they are going to be fake. If you're looking for an authentic one, I would probably suggest looking for different size bottles, like 50 ml or 30 ml, even better. Look for people selling their own fragrances. They don't have the boxes, they're not sealed, they may be even half used. I would trust that 1000% more than I would trust any sealed Midnight Poison being sold. Now in the marketing for this scent, they had the ad with Eva Green. She's a brilliant actress, actually my favorite actress now, I think. And she's wearing a dark blue gown, she has dark blue jewels around her neck, big dark eyeliner, red lips, she's looking gorgeous. And she's sort of rushing, I suppose, to the midnight celebrations, right? It's a countdown to the midnight, and she's rushing to be just the star of the show. And yeah, I think it was an excellent match, an excellent pick of the face for the perfume. And generally the public, I think, has accepted this quite well. Obviously it has been discontinued, but the people that had tried this said that they find it to be sort of mysterious, dark, again, gothic, and generally I agree. Some people don't like this, but you know, there's always someone, so... And especially with this being a very patchouli heavy scent, people are not going to like this. And yeah, this is an ambery patchouli rose. And on the first spray it does open up with like a tiny little bit of citrus, but honestly the patchouli is just right there from the get-go. The middle phase of this is pretty much a rose, but I would say that the patchouli changes the dynamic and it goes from like a fresh pink rose into a dark red, sort of smoky rose almost. It almost has a tiny bit of that soapy quality from the first two perfumes in the range. It is a bit spicy, it is a tiny bit sweet as well, but in general this very well matches the Poison range. It's a heavy hitter. And with this perfume, the bottle, the name, the general aesthetic of it, the idea of it, just everything about it speaks to my soul. But I will say that the scent itself, even though I do love it, it doesn't sort of keep up with, for example, Pure Poison, which is definitely a 10 out of 10. I would say that this is like a 9 out of 10 or an 8.5 out of 10. Yes, it's definitely dark and moody and gothic and mysterious, which is something that I always crave for in my life. But yeah, it doesn't make my eyes roll at the back of my head, you know? I would say that a dark, almost earthy patchouli rose is something that you have to be in the mood for. You can't really, at least I can't really wear this every day, and well, with this being discontinued, even more so. I don't find this to be an everyday scent, and this is, I've designated this to be my birthday perfume. So in my last birthday I wore it, I'm gonna wear it on this one as well. And that's it. That's going to be the purpose of this. Yeah, that is Midnight Poison. Again, taking quite a bit of a break and going into 2014 now, and this is when Hypnotic Poison EDP comes out. Interestingly, this sells only in 50 milliliter bottle, and that's the only size that's available. So this is what the bottle looks like. It's a bit darker than the other one and a bit more see-through, I suppose. Now, I find Hypnotic Poison EDP to be a bit unusual, I would say. In the notes we have licorice, vanilla, tonka bean, jasmine sambac absolute, and orange blossom absolute. I despise licorice, but to be honest, I don't get it that much in here. I've smelled perfume that have licorice where I can just smell it immediately, and it's too much. I can't enjoy the scent. But in here, I think it's hidden among everything else that you can't really pick it out. But at the same time, it must be there because this smells just interesting. A tiny bit odd, but in a good way. Now, in the marketing for this scent, there's a lady, there's red fabric sort of flowing in the wind. It's sort of simple, elegant, it's alright. And in terms of the public opinion, people are sort of divided. Again, you either love it or hate it. Some of the keywords mentioned are root beer and Play-Doh. And some of the normal keywords are sweet, sexy, da-da-da. So to me this scent is thick, but it's not like the soft, cozy thick, but it's like a brick wall. Very much in your face again, and this smells very unusual. Others say this smells like Play-Doh or root beer. To me, this smells like rubber. It smells like tire rubber, like clean, fresh rubber. I suppose the scent is the combination of the licorice, vanilla, and tonka. It's just sweet rubber. There are florals in the notes, but to me they definitely take a back seat. This is the time for the vanilla and the licorice, I suppose. And if you compare it to the EDT version of it, if that's sort of cozier, sweeter, thicker, fluffier, then this is very, I would say, standoffish and cold. A bit more serious, I suppose. And you know, I will say this is unusual enough for it to be a Mugler scent, I feel like. It just has a bit of that X factor where you like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. So it reminds me of Angel or Aura or even Alien in the sense that they're very immediately recognizable. So this as well, I haven't smelled anything like it. And just like with Mugler scents, they will have people divided as well, so it's the same story with this. And I really appreciate that because the worst thing for me a perfume can be is boring. Be a bit unusual, be a bit weird, but as long as you're not boring, then that's okay. This is definitely not an everyday scent. This is a specific mood and type and weather and things like that. But again, I will appreciate that, and I like this scent for that reason. So obviously everyone's been talking about the EDT version, but the EDP version is the one that sort of maybe has my heart a little bit. So if you do like your interesting scents, maybe try this one out. And that is Hypnotic Poison Eau de Parfum. Then we move into the last era of the Poison perfume range, and that is the Poison Girl era. It's 3 scents and I don't like any of them. Generally I don't hate them, it's just they're boring to me, so I won't be talking as much about them, I think. But we go into 2016, which is when Poison Girl EDP comes out. This is what the box looks like. Again, pretty much the same style, just different coloring. And you'll see that for EDP the middle is dark and for EDT it's silver. This is what the bottle looks like. The liquid turns quite dark. I think it starts out a lot lighter, but the vanilla makes it quite dark eventually. Now in terms of marketing, it's pretty classic and boring. It's a girl in a club, she's attracting guys. And in terms of the scent, it's sort of the same sentiment as I have, that this is the boring one of the line, and it's the first boring one. I think the last 3, all of them are boring. And in terms of the notes, this has Venezuelan tonka bean, vanilla, Sicilian bitter orange, damask rose, and May rose. So it's a sweet citrusy floral. And that's pretty much what it is. It's a sweet floral scent. It opens citrusy. Also, oftentimes when I spray this and I smell it, it makes me sneeze, which is very annoying, and I'm not a person that's very sensitive, so That's a bit unpleasant. I'm guessing that vanilla is the one that makes me sneeze. It's very aggressive and in your face vanilla. But generally what I sense here is the rose. A bit of that orange freshness, but generally it's rose. And the dry down stage is pretty much vanilla. I feel like there's some woods in here as well, but they're not listed. And generally speaking, it is a likable scent. I suppose in the line itself, you can see how this is targeted for younger people. Poison Girl, obviously, a bit something more commercial, more designer, something sweet and likable. You see releases like this 5 times a year at least. I kind of almost feel like this is not worthy of the Poison name. Like, this should have been something completely different. Because until this point, I think it was excellent. It was beautiful. Every single scent was practically a masterpiece. Ironically enough, I'm bad-mouthing this perfume right now, but I think when I was younger, I probably would have really liked this. It's just that now, these days, I look for something more interesting, something that I really love and a bit more memorable and unusual for my collection, because how many vanillas do you really need? I mean, 1 or 2 is enough. And this isn't a scent that pretty much when I don't smell it, I don't remember what it smells like, and that's a bad sign. So I don't think that I will be keeping this in my collection. You can still buy it. It's the same price range as the previous ones. And in terms of projection and sillage, I think it's alright, it's okay. It's not doing as good as its predecessors, but it's decent, I suppose. Now moving on to EDT version of Poison Girl. And this one came out a year later, so in 2017. The liquid in this one is lighter. I don't believe that this changes into a darker one, or at least a very much darker one. It stays sort of light pink. And again, the general opinion about this scent is quite similar as with the previous one. The people are not that overwhelmed with this. Not that impressed, really. Interestingly, for marketing, they did a 3.5-minute dance battle between boys and girls in a underground parking lot. Now, in the notes of this scent, we have Calabrian bitter orange, Sicilian orange, a grass rose, neroli, Turkish damask rose, Venezuelan tonka bean, and vanilla. And if I smell the dry down of the scents, this one and the previous original girl, the dry down is just completely the same. A lot of the notes for this version and the EDP version match, like the vanilla and tonka bean, so they're both very sweet, but this just has a very citrusy opening, sort of happy, upbeat, citrusy, fresh opening. So it kind of makes it a bit more suitable for summertime, I suppose, but it's still very sweet in your face. This isn't really a fresh scent. And it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to go into that sweet scent profile. I'll be honest, again, I'm bored of this perfume. It's not something that I will be keeping in my collection too, so this one is a citrusy sweet version, and the EDP is a floral sweet version. Yes, they're a bit different. I'm over them both, so yeah, Poison Girl will be leaving soon. And then lastly, in 2018 we have Poison Girl Unexpected. For marketing they had the exact same video as for Poison Girl, they just put a different bottle in the end of the video. Surprisingly, people have quite positive things to say about this scent, which actually surprised me a bit. Yeah, the scent itself. This one has ginger, and I love ginger, so that's something positive I can say, but in general, again, I found this to be boring. In the notes of this perfume, at the top we have Tanzanian ginger, we have bitter orange and salty notes, then in the middle we have peony, damask rose, jasmine sembang, and then in the base there's vanilla, musk, and Venezuelan tonka bean. So again, quite a few of the notes match with the previous Poison Girls. The ginger brings some freshness and something new to this one, but as a top note it leaves pretty quickly, leaving me with, again, a commercial, boring designer scent. It's a cozy vanilla dry down. It's sweet, springtime, young girl, every day. And the projection on longevity of the Poison Girls, I don't really think it's that good either, so yeah, I just don't think that they match the Poison range. I think they should have kept the last 3 separate, or as just something else. This also isn't selling on their website anymore, so I think this might be discontinued as well, so if you are interested then keep an eye out for that. But yeah, Poison Girl Unexpected, I don't know what's the unexpected element of it. Is it the ginger, maybe? Ginger is my favorite thing about this scent. So yeah, with that we conclude the Poison range review. I hope you like this video. Please let me know which ones you have tried, which ones you have in your collection or you want to get. Thank you if you got to the end of this video. It probably was a long one, so I really appreciate that, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!